Have you ever thought that maybe, just maybe, some of life's biggest questions are actually a trap? There's this ancient Buddhist text, the Diamond Sutra, and it offers a powerful way to navigate these questions. It's not about picking a side, but about finding something called the middle way. So let's explore how it can help us escape the hidden traps of our own thinking. Okay, so here's a big one, the really big one. What happens after we die? Is there some kind of immortal soul that lives on forever? Or is it just nothing? We feel like we have to pick one, right? But what if the pressure to choose? What if that's the actual trap?
To get out of this trap, the Diamond Sutra says we first have to challenge a really fundamental misunderstanding we have about reality itself. We have to start by looking beyond the surface of things, to correct a very common, very human mistake in how we think.
I love this quote because it shows this incredible balance. The sutra tells us that ultimate truth isn't found in the physical world, but then it immediately warns us not to swing to the other extreme and reject the physical world completely. That's just as wrong. The real point is finding value in things without being trapped by them.
And there it is, the core lesson. The path to real understanding isn't about picking heads or tails. It's about realizing you're holding a coin in the first place. This tendency we have to frame absolutely everything as an either-or choice, well, that's the first huge obstacle the sutra asks us to get over.
And this isn't just some vague philosophical idea. The text gets super specific about these mental traps. It calls them the wrong views, which is pretty blunt, right? They're basically two dead-end streets on the path to understanding how things really are. The term is sangyun. You can think of it as a label for any belief that gets you stuck in one of those either-or corners. It's that tendency our minds have to insist that reality has to be one thing or the other, with absolutely no room for anything else. And this slide just lays out the two big ones perfectly. On one side, you've got eternalism, or sangyun. That's the belief that some part of us is permanent, that it lasts forever. On the other side, you've got nihilism, dangyun, which is the belief that death is just total annihilation. Game over. Sound familiar? Yep, we're right back at that same dilemma we started with.
And here, the sutra directly calls out the trap of nihilism, what it calls danmyeolseong. It's a really powerful warning. It's saying, look, getting stuck on the idea that everything just gets wiped out of existence is just as limiting as believing it lasts forever. It's just another dead end.
So if both eternalism and nihilism are traps, how do we get out? Well, this is where the sutra offers this really elegant and powerful solution. It's not a compromise. It's a completely different path that walks right between these two dead ends. It's called jungdo, or the middle way. And this is so important to get. This is not about meeting in the middle. It's not some bland compromise. It's about finding a higher perspective, one that completely transcends the original problem. It's not about choosing a point between A and B. It's about realizing you don't have to be on that line at all. So, how do we actually do this? How do we walk this path? Well, here are the mental steps. First, you see that things aren't permanent. They're not fixed. But then, and this is the key move, you resist the urge to just say they don't exist at all. This lets you navigate right between those two traps. You're not claiming things last forever, but you're also not claiming they're just nothing. This balanced perspective is what the sutra calls jungyeon, the correct view. It's like upgrading your mental operating system beyond that simple black and white logic our minds love to fall back on. It's the ability to hold two ideas that seem to be opposites at the same time and to see the truth that lies in the tension between them. Walking this middle way leads to something really profound, an ultimate insight. It's a beautiful concept that doesn't just solve the dilemma we started with, it completely transforms it. Jin Gong Ma Yu. It's just a 4-character phrase, but it basically encapsulates this entire teaching. It holds the key to moving beyond the traps of eternalism and nihilism, for good. It translates to something like true emptiness, wondrous existence. Now, what that means is that reality isn't a static choice between something and nothing. Instead, it suggests that because things are empty of a permanent fixed identity, they are free to become, well, anything. So in this view, emptiness isn't a scary void we should be afraid of. It's the space of pure potential. It means existence and non-existence aren't fighting each other. They're partners in a constant creative dance. So the middle way leaves us with this challenge. In our own lives, how often do we trap ourselves by asking, is it this or is it that? What if we stopped trying so hard to find a fixed answer and instead saw our lives not as some static state of being, but as a wondrous, ongoing process of becoming. That is the beautiful dance this ancient wisdom invites us to join.